Welcome to today's class, my dear students of class 10. So, as in the earlier class, we have talked about what is actually XML and what does XML means and why XML is used. So we have learned all those things in the previous lesson. So in this lesson, we will going to talk about XML elements. What are actually XML elements? As we all know that XML is basically another markup language like an HTML. And XML stands for Extensible Markup Language. So, in some places, instead of HTML, instead of using HTML as a markup language, XMLs are used as a markup language. Like in our Android applications, in most of our Android applications, the user interface is basically designed in XML as compared to that of HTML. Why it is used, we're going to learn that in the next lesson. All right, we will going to do a comparison between HTML and XML. But for today, we're going to learn about XML elements. All right. So what are actually XML elements? XML elements are like building blocks that are basically used to build any XML documents. So here in the first point, what is written that an XML element is everything from the element's start tag to the element's end tag, including the start tag, end tag, and content. Means in an XML document, just like in an HTML document, in HTML documents there are markup tags. In the similar way, in XML the elements are basically the tags. There we use the term markup tags, but here we use the term elements for the tags. So in the second point, it is written that elements can also have attributes, which is similar to that of HTML. In the case of HTML, in the case of HTML, what happened? Like, consider a markup tag. Like if I consider the markup tag like bold, or if I consider the markup tag like italicized, or para 1, or the h1 tag, the h2 tag. With those header tags, we are able to add some attributes. Like with the help of attributes, we can give color to the head tag, means give color to the contents that are present to the head tag. We can add font style to the content present in the head tag. So in the similar way, the elements in the case of markup language have attributes from which we can change their appearance in the user interface. All right. So XML elements must follow naming rules. The third point basically explains that while we are naming the tags in the case of XML elements, there are some essential rules that are to be followed. The first rule is, that is the point A, Name can contain letters, numbers, and other characters. Alright. The second point says name cannot start with a number or punctuation characters. And names cannot contain spaces between them. I think it is easily understandable that what are the rules we have to basically follow. So this slide basically explain the complete XML elements that are present in our XML documents. All right. So in the next slide, I will going to show to all of you how to write an XML file. Means how to write an XML code. This is an example. Whenever you are writing an XML code, first you have to start with a question mark and an angular bracket, within which you all have to write the XML version in this way, which is I have written here 1.0. So within that version, I am writing the member tag. This member tag is the start tag here. Means suppose I am designing an application for the members, for the staff members of our school. So for the staff members, each or for the members of a classroom, like your classroom. So in the classroom, you all are present, so you all are members of that particular classroom. So if I'm going to basically I am making a user interface for displaying the information related to each and every member belonging to that particular classroom. So suppose inside this member tag, I have included an ID tag, which will basically going to display the unique IDs of the members. Within the name tag, I have again written two different tags. The first tag is for the first name of the member, and the next tag, which is the last name tag, is basically for the last name, basically to display the last name of the members. All right. In the similar way, suppose this basically represents what sports the member are playing. Like some of them, like I am basically making a user interface for the students who have to participate in their interested sports. So for different members it will going to vary. So what I am doing here, that here as an example, I am taking the basketball for the member Vinay Gupta, that he is interested in basketball. So I will have to display the information basketball inside the sports tag, that he is interested in this sports. So that's why inside the sports tag I have used the content basketball. All right. Similarly, what does this amount tag representing? It means that for participating in a basketball event, that is for registering for the basketball event, the interested members of the class have to pay this amount of rupees. That's the information I am displaying about the member in the amount tag. So basically, in the similar way, I will be able to add more ID tags. Suppose another unique ID for another member. In the similar way, you all can extend this code. All right. So this is one of the most simplest XML code that I am showing to all of you, which is basically present in your book also. After that, how the XML elements are basically written inside an XML document. So each of these, that like this member tag is ending here, this name tag is ending here, this ID tag is ending here. So all these tags are basically XML elements. All right. So it is quite understandable. It is easy to understand that what is actually going on in the code, and I have also explained it to all of you. So in the next slide, what I have written there, the first point is very important to understand in this slide. What is written here is XML code has tree-like structure, which means whenever we are writing an XML code, it basically we can imagine it like a tree-like structure, but basically in reverse fashion. So XML code are always present in tree-like structure. We can represent the XML code in the tree-like structure. How? That I will going to explain in the next slide. But before that, what does this question mark represents in our code? This question mark basically represents the processing instruction line. It means that whenever the processing of the code of the XML code starts, means where to start the from where to start the processing of the XML code. This question mark basically is the start or the end symbol for the XML code. Means that if the first question, if the XML document scanning start, and when the scanning start and this question mark is reached as the first symbol during the scan, so it means that this is an XML code, that the scanning, that the parser, that there is a software which is known as parser. That parser is basically responsible for the converting the XML code into a displayable information. So basically what happened, whenever the first question mark is received by the parser, so he understand that okay, this is an XML code. So the document is an XML document, and the parsing that the parser is doing is he is parsing the XML document. So it is like a start symbol for the scanning of the XML document, and also the end symbol, because at the end from this symbol, after all the scanning, it also ends with, means a particular XML code also ends with an question mark. So when the last question mark is received by the parser, he basically stops the scanning there, and it basically shows that XML code has been parsed, has been scanned by the parser, and has been converted to the displayable information. All right, so it is quite easy to understand. I hope you all are understanding the points that I am explaining to all of you. So as you can see in the third point, it is written that it passes specific instruction to the browser how to deal with the XML document. Okay, here member, ID, name, first name, last name, sports and amount are elements, as I have just explained. Each of those tags are elements. The topmost element is called the root element or the document element. in our example, as the first tag is the member tag and within the member tag all the other tags are present, so in our example this member tag is the root element. All right, so as you can see, that's why XML documents or XML code can be represented in a tree-like structure, because we have taken the topmost markup tag as the root element. So further, the tags that are nested inside the member tag will be the child of the root tag. It will get more clear in the next slide. Here it is the complete tree structure of our code. What does this structure, XML code tree structure, is representing? That our code starts from the member tag, that is the start tag, that it is root. You can imagine the tree that we have reversed the tree. All right, so the root comes at the top. So root is present at the top. So root element is the member tag, and from that, within that we are representing ID tag, name tag, sports tag, and amount tag. So you can all think as these are the direct child of the member tag, and within the name tag, as you all have seen inside the code, that within the name tag I have written the first name and the last name tag. So basically the first name last name parent is the direct parent is the name tag, whereas the member tag will be grandparent to the first name last name, and the first name last name will be the grandchild to the member tag. So in this way, basically we all can explain our XML code in tree-like structure. It can extend up to many levels. It will depend upon your code. So for any XML code, you all can design a tree structure for better explanation. All right, so this is the complete explanation of the XML elements and how to write the XML code, that is what is the syntax that I have shown in the example, and how the XML code are represented in a tree structure. It is quite easy to understand, and I think you all have understood each and every topic what I have teach here today in the lesson. So if you have any doubt regarding this topic, I request all of you to approach me with the doubt, so that I will be able to explain it in more better way if required. All right, so let us stop the class here today. In the next session we will going to learn about how HTML differs from XML, and why XML and what are the advantages and disadvantages of XML as compared to that of the HTML. We're going to compare those two markup languages, so the concepts get more clear. All right, so till the next class, all of you revise all the topics that we have teach you till now, and let's wrap the class here today only. Then we're going to meet in our next class then. Goodbye. and take care.